Hey guys, this is Ducky, and this is my 26th tutorial. I'm going to show you how to basically build any type of plane that you want. Okay, I'm going to start off with a plane that I made. So, this. It's the only thing that can outrun my missile, and currently runs at around 112 miles per hour. Flies like a dream. Easy to control. You can do barrel rolls and loop loops. Anyway, so I'm going to show you how to make that. Okay, so we're going to start off with the body of the plane. Generally, what you want to have is kind of something that may look quite realistic, and it's got to have an aerodynamic shape. If we want to start talking about planes in real life, like you have big body, then it gets smaller at the end and smaller at the start. So we're gonna have that, and I decided to experiment with this prop, the column arc. Oh, and by the way, the prop I just spawned before was, props combine head crab canister. Now these ones are the column arch, just underneath the boxes. Okay, so firstly we're going to no collide this with that, and we're going to be switching toward like from gravity gun to fizz gun to try and get this as accurate as we can, because there is no smart snap on the fizz gun. So I can see there that I actually need to move along a little bit, so about there. Yep, and that's almost perfectly aligned. You want it in the center, really, so that it flies well. And obviously you're not going to have, say for example, if I had this prop and I decided I wanted the plane to be like that, because I know it may look different and unique, but it will not fly. I can promise you that, unless you use loads of wire. And in this tutorial I'm not talking about wire, because you guys that don't understand wire, even though you should after watching my tutorials, crediting myself a bit there, it's sometimes nice to make something without wire. So we're gonna start off actually with our back thrusters. We're gonna use the pop can. And okay, so we're gonna try make a nice little pattern going in 4 squares. We're gonna have a 3x3 grid. No, 5x5 grid, sorry. Okay, so I'll just do that quickly. Going in 4 at a time. Gets a lot easier as you go. So do a cross. Yeah, it needs to be in a grid kind of shape. One for this, because we're going to make it as easy to control as possible. So by doing that, the general concept is that you make things symmetrical, otherwise you're going to end up drifting to one side. Okay, and now bottom row, we're actually going to delete the middle one, the very center prop. Okay, and we're gonna replace the middle one I just generally do this because it's easier to start off with the afterburner 1 to make things cool and to get that extra bit of speed. Okay, yeah, I didn't go through the settings, sorry. No effects really. Toggle on 7, I'm going to use 20,000 thrust. Okay, now for the up and down, we're going to have 300. We're going to use the pop can again. And then we're going to take toggle off. So once again, instead, I could just have loads of thrusters along here. That's not increasing the pitch, and also it's probably going to wobble to one side. So what we can do is, it's hard to on this prop. If you go you look at that row, then you go 2 in, just so we know for future reference on this side, because we want to make it symmetrical, remember. Then we're going to go to 4 and 6 with 50 each side. Obviously for these specific thrusters, you can do what you want with them. You can have whatever numbers or anything, and you probably want it inverted. Well, no, you don't want it inverted. So if you press 4, you want to turn left. Hey, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to add a vehicle. You don't have to do any fancy weighting or fin tool. Believe me, this will fly absolutely fine, and it goes very fast. And I'll even put a speedometer on to show you after we have our first test flight. Okay, so I'm just going to go quickly over the thrusters in case you miss them. Have the 5x5 grid starting from the center, going up in 4 units each time. You want them to be 20,000 each. You want one large one, the afterburner one, to get a bit of weight in, because as everyone should know, the mass of the thruster, don't say weight, mass of the thruster actually affects the amount of thrust it outputs. So we have these that were 2 in on the very center, these 2 in on the very center, these 2 in on the very center, these 2 in on the very center. I'm not going to worry about yaw, because I think having yaw is it's not a needed thing. I mean, you can turn very well. And yes, Paul, my friend, I told him he could say hi guys watching this tutorial. Okay, so let's have our first test flight. This may go horribly wrong, or it may not. The idea is that you experiment, and it's fine. You can fly along, do barrel rolls, like that. Crash a little bit, because Ducky isn't very good at flying planes. And just do random stuff. You can add a turret on. Unfortunately, because of the design of this plane, landing isn't particularly very good, but you can always try. You'll turn to the right, and that's it. Okay, I'm gonna go over the basic concepts. Okay, you have the body. It's got to be a long, thin prop. Then you have the wings. They can be curved, but I generally prefer straight ones. So when you look across, they're straight. You want a lot of thrust on the back. That is what's going to carry it. It's the pivot theory. You may have seen this. If you have a door handle, for example, it's harder to turn at the very the closer you get to the pivot point. If you have a long handle, then you can turn it easier, and it takes a lot less newtons to do it. Anyway, hope you had fun. This is Ducky over and out.